What's going on there, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Pone, coming at you guys with a nice little Battlefield Hardline gameplay. Enjoy it! Unfortunately, this was ripped from my live stream, so there is no audio. I apologize for that, but that's probably a good thing. There was an exchange of words and some annoying moments in this. The game before I was trolling around, and the other team happened to be a bunch of poop mouths, and they wanted to kind of run their mouths, and I wanted to put them into place in the following game. So, enjoy the gameplay today. I wanted to kind of answer your questions. I get asked all the time, multiple questions. A lot of them are repetitive. A lot of people are saying, do you think Hardline is just Battlefield 4 reskin? Do you think it's just a DLC? What do you think about it? So I'm here going to spend some time answering your questions, the community's questions, and kind of give you my opinions on these topics. Here in a couple days, I'm going to make an honest, actual review. I'm going to spend a little bit of time working on it, thinking exactly what I want to say. But for now, I'm going to answer your direct questions. Okay, so question number one. What's your opinion on the perk setup? Now, this one's actually a pretty easy one. I thought they had it right in Battlefield 3. If it's not broke, don't fix it. That's how I feel about things. You run cover, you run suppression, you run nades. I thought they had the right thing set up right there, the specializations and stuff. Battlefield 4, I thought it was kind of It was just a little more complicated. You had to go to your way to pick things and see what happens. I didn't really like it in Battlefield 4 either. And now it's kind of like class specific. Now you have the advanced spot and, you know, if you're playing professional, so on and so forth. And I'm not a big fan of that stuff. So I honestly think they're trying to find their groove. Not a big fan. Hell, half the time I don't even bother using them because, I don't know, it just seems like it's not that important. So that's how I feel about it. I think it's just kind of a not necessary thing they added to the game. It's cool and all, but it's not that big a deal. Do you think Battlefield Hardline will die fast like Battlefield 4, or do you think it'll prevail and be a reasonable FPS to play? Now, this is actually a complicated question. I've got a complicated answer for you guys. Now, Hardline, I don't think it'll die like Battlefield 4. Battlefield 4 died because it was broken. You know, it's just one of those things. People were beat down over time, months and months and months, no results, very little changes. Battlefield died not because it was a bad game or it didn't have potential. If that game was working flawless at the start, it would have been an incredible game. Sadly, up until now, people have not been able to experience that exact experience, and that's been kind of disappointing. So that's why Battlefield, you know, just doesn't have the activity that it had before. Now, I think Hardline will work because, well, they have to. Can you imagine releasing another game a year later, the first game on this yearly cycle? If it flopped too, that would just crush their company. So honestly, I think they have to fly with this one, and I think they have confidence in it. They mentioned that this game actually took 3 years to develop, and it does in fact have its potential abilities in the game. So I think it'll be a reasonable FPS. I do agree. There are lots of great FPSs coming out this year, but this will be one of the solid ones. I do feel that way. So, do you think if Visceral fails at launch like Hardline, like DICE did with Battlefield 4, do you think EA will keep Visceral around? They kept DICE around now, didn't they? Now, when Medal of Honor was a thing, and it I guess didn't achieve the sales. I didn't think Warfighter was a bad game, but it didn't achieve the sales that EA wanted. They kind of were like, no, we're going to axe that. Now, Medal of Honor's not gone permanently, but they did kind of say, hey, we're going to find something to replace you because they want better results. And just like I predicted, they're going to put out another title very similar to how, you know, Medal of Honor was, which was more of a close quarters game, but they're going to make it be kind of one of the things where they just plaster the Battlefield name on it, and it's going to get more sales. So when a new product comes out, a new property, Titanfall example, it's kind of a new thing. A lot of people don't really want to put the money in to test something out. It doesn't do well. But with this having Battlefield plastered on the name of this thing, it's going to help the sales out. So I think it's going to be successful. I think Visceral's got a good chance at this. And honestly, worst case scenario, Visceral has been in there. It's been with them on other projects before. You know, lots of these things, Criterion and stuff like that. Not to mention they've had some of their workers come together and develop this game. You've had people from things that have developed Need for Speed that have come in here to help and work on this project itself, Hardline. So you've seen these different things and all these different rumors floating about. So I think Visceral will stay around. Will it continue to do Hardline? Only sales will tell. So we'll see exactly what happens right there. Do you believe Hardline is just finished Battlefield 4 with new maps and game modes? Now, this is where things get a little bit crazy. I think, I'm one of the few people, I don't know what it is about people, but I think Hardline's a new game. It feels different. It plays different. And it's because it's aiming more towards the fun/casual experience versus the competitive, objective-oriented Battlefield franchise that we've expected so far. So, do I think it's a different game? Yes, because when you play it, you could tell it feels differently. It's more close quarters, and they have more casual-friendly game types. You know, you have games like single CTF, Heist, where you have two different objectives, and you got two different objectives there. There's going to be a game that comes out where there's actually, like, racing involved, where you have to run down a straight and try to blow up each other's cars and stuff. They're aiming for a more casual experience. That's not something Battlefield has done before. Therefore, I think it stands out, and it's kind of more unique compared to the other Battlefield titles, because it's trying something a little bit differently. So do I think it's just a finished Battlefield 4? No. I think it's changed a good significant amount for it to actually retain its own individuality. So I'm just going to put that in there. It's still its own thing, in my opinion, and I actually prefer Hardline over Battlefield 4 because of this. I do appreciate a good game that's casual and fun. All right, so we're going to go ahead up in here. We're going to scroll up a couple more. Do you like donut spotting? My God, the amount of donuts I spotted in this, it's just ridiculous. So, am I glad the suppression is being completely removed, or would you rather have some major changes but keep it? Now, this is actually a good question. I think one of the classes allows you to have one of the perks where you can increase or reduce suppression. I don't remember exactly. I didn't mess around with them too much. I think they had it right in Battlefield 4. I think Battlefield 3 suppression was a bit of a nuisance, and it made sense after the fact, after you played Battlefield 4. I think Battlefield 4 did it right with giving it to specific classes, specific weapons that deserve to have that advantage of suppression. And, you know, that's their goal. Snipers and you know, LMGs and stuff like that are supposed to be able to suppress you because of the amount of bullets flying at you. You know, tomato, tomato, that's differently. I do think that for this game type, like I said, for it to be more arena-based, more close quarters, more about infantry, I do honestly think that suppression being gone is a good thing, but, you know, either way, I would have been okay with it, to be completely honest to you guys. Are you excited for Hardline single player? It actually looks good this time around. Yes, and the reason for that is because Visceral's behind this. Visceral has been known to create some pretty good, awesome games. And even though I'm not a big fan of the whole cop and robbers kind of theme, you know, you always got your red and your blue, your good and your bad guys. No matter what you do, you're Russian, you're Americans, whatever, in any game, you always have one team and another team. They generally don't have any differences. You're just basically two different people with the same everything available to you guys. I wasn't a big fan of the theme. Now, it's going to come into effect with the single-player aspect, though. It's gonna play out. I honestly think they're gonna be able to play this out like it was some really, really cool heist thing. I think it's gonna play out like an episode of like CSI or something. I think it's gonna have a really good story behind it, and I'm actually really excited for it. And I don't say that a lot about single players, so that's kind of one of those things. Even if, you know, the multiplayer bombs or something, I feel that even with that, you're gonna have the cushion of a successful campaign behind it. What weapon pisses you off the most? Honestly, that's always DMRs. I think the constant fact is because they're always so hard to balance. They're always so hard to make it work. Many games in competitive, they're banned and stuff like that. So it's just always it's a complicated thing to have in there. So any DMRs I don't think belong in games, period. That's just how I feel about it. But that's just where we are. And I know with that right there, I think we're probably about finished. What do you think about the spray painting? I think it's just one of those, you know, things that you can do. I think it'll be entertaining. I think it'll be fun. I think it's one of those ways, instead of like teabagging somebody, you can kill them and then spray paint over their body or something. You know what I mean? Just kind of like mark their territory and kind of rub salt on the wound kind of thing. It's just one of those crazy stuff. So again, thank you guys for watching. Look forward to the actual review coming up here in a couple days. I've got a big announcement to drop on you guys tomorrow. Thank you guys for your time.